irritated.
What causes you to get irritated?
Foolish people.
Now you got to realize we got a world full of foolish folks.
Yeah, I know. Yeah.
All right. I done mellowed with enough people. Let me give you let me give y'all some scriptures I want you to hang on to for me tonight, all right? Because I'm going to go into a different area. My question is, why do individuals have an angry spirit? I understand Ephesians chapter 4 and verse number 26. The Bible says, be angry and sin not. Let not the sun go down on your wrath, all right? So we have a tendency to become angry, but the point is not to sin. So when you get angry, and the different things can anger you, do you get it off your chest, or do you just really go to God in prayer with it? And to be honest about it now, and don't say, I go to God in prayer, when you actually cussing inside your head, and you go and cuss somebody out, and sometimes we don't even think about what we say, we just go and say some things. All right? Well, here we go. When people are tired, anxious, and already angry, they are more likely to respond with anger. I never could figure out why my grandmama, you ask her something and she think it was stupid, she'd haul off and say something crazy. That somebody? Oh, Jesus. Oh, Jesus. She did. She pointed at him. And she made it obvious. And you know, sometimes you point when you try to just do it where people can't see it. She made sure. Some of this has to do with simple physiological arousal. A nervous person already has an elevated heart rate, so it doesn't have to go far to become angry. That's serious, y'all. I used to wonder why it is people go from 0 to 100. Anger. Why is it that sometimes, now some people, it takes a lot to anger them. And some, you can look at them wrong. Depends on if they're tired, they worried about something, or they're already angry about something. All right? And that's something we never question, and we don't try to help people. We just look at them and like, are they crazy? No, I think sometimes it do us good to help a brother or a sister by simply asking, is something really going on in your life? Do you know anger will kill you? It's elevating your blood pressure. You already have blood pressure problems. You causing yourself to go to the grave faster. That's why you always say, I'm not going to let you push me somewhere that I don't want to go. So I just know how to, you ever think about laughing when you get aggravated? That's what I do. I laugh. And I laugh a lot. Everything funny to me. That may be why I'm silly. All right. Let's hold on to these verses. Proverbs 10 and verse number 12. Hatred stirs up conflict, but love covers over all wrongs. Do we have a problem with hatred? We do? We do? Explain.
I think that if we've been like mistreated by someone or something has happened down the line and you hold on to that, that's pure hatred. That's pure hatred.
We do realize that when someone mistreats you, you don't have to hold that in, right? Jesus teaches that you go to your brother and you go to your brother alone, right? That word is generic there, right? He's not just saying that brothers go to brothers or sisters go to the brothers. It means both male and females can go to same sex, opposite sex, and deal with the issue at hand, correct? We do understand that in Romans 12, when Paul says in verse number 17, recompense no man evil for evil, but provide things honest in the sight of all men. You do realize in that same text, you talk about heaping coals of fire on a person's head, right? What's you doing? You killing them with kindness. You know, when you feel like a person has really done you wrong, the best thing for you to do is do something good for them. Get it off of you. Do something kind. Be kind. Do something positive to help them out. Come on now. You do realize that God expects us to be extra mile Christians, right? We go to the extreme, correct? Because we are more spiritual, correct? All right. I'm sorry, what'd you say? Somebody said something. Well, now, supposed to be and doing it. I understand that. So what's the difficulty of doing it? Acting? Well, you ain't got to act. Just be action. Yeah, doing it. Just do it.
Oh, I'm sorry.
I promise you, like, so let's do it like this. Sister Rogers and Brother Rogers, I came back and she was mad because I was gone and I didn't call her one day, and you know, she don't get over things easily. So I said, what you mad about? You know you didn't call me Tuesday. I didn't know if something had happened to you or not. How come you couldn't call me Tuesday? I said, well, I don't spoke to you Wednesday. I spoke to you Thursday, and you didn't tell me that you were, but I'm still mad. So what you do? So should Brother Rogers just don't do anything, just leave it alone? No. I told y'all before, the strongest one spiritually always goes outside of the box. You make the initiative move. There's nothing wrong with saying, number one, I'm sorry. Number two, please forgive me. Do something for that individual. Show them that you are stronger than that. Brother, good to see you. Get out of the hospital, boy. It's good to see you. Did she make you come tonight? No, I was talking to the gentleman behind you. You know, he had surgery. You just love the Lord. I appreciate that, brother. I thought she might have pinched you and made you come tonight. Watch this. Proverbs 29 and 22. An angry person stirs up conflict. Do you believe that? And a hot-tempered person commits what? Many sins. There's a cusser on the line. Somebody just may be hitting somebody in the throat. I had to get her over there. I believe that.
But when he first met me, the first thing he asked me, Donna, why is it? You said, do you have any kids? And I said, no, you can't hit them in the throat.
Absolutely.
Yes. So that's where he gets that from.
No, that's not where I get that from.
Oh, well, you got that from Mama.
Yes, I did.
Yeah, because I used to tell her that all the time. She's like, Donna, why did I was like, 'cause you can't hit him in the throat. That was just my saying. But what holds true to me is that I have anxiety really, really bad.
Uh-huh.
And I'm always shaking, you know, but I'm generally a nice person. But I get more angry at myself than I do at other people because I know that I can't control anybody but me. And so when I get angry at myself because sometimes I feel like I can't control myself, so then my anger is directed toward myself.
But you have. You've done a good job controlling yourself. Because now when your mama told me, she said, Brother Roger, she said, if you really want to do something for me, she said, please work with Donna. And I said, what's wrong? Donna likes to hit folks in the throat. And I said, has she really ever hit anybody? And she said, I don't know, but she talks about hitting them all the time. And she said, I see her when she gets mad, and you ought to see her sometime. And she run out the door, she slam the door fast, and she jump in the car, and she fasten the door, and then she speed off down the road. And she said, that's not good, Brother Roger. I said, no, it's not. I said, but you have to find out what's really triggering that. She said, no, I'm going to leave that to you. I think you're a very lovable person.
Oh, I am. But I get that from my grandmother. If any one of you guys knew my grandmother, she was very loving, and so that's where I get that from. But I think the military makes you grow up, and it makes you become a leader, and then it makes you do a lot of things that you would never do if you were not in the military. And I think that I got the anxiety and everything because I was not a nervous type person from being in the military.
Well, I got one right here, was in the Marines, so.
Oh, hey, brother.
I wonder sometimes, did it make you grow up and they just, you sometimes have that old man mentality you can't get rid of because it's just in you? I understand. Now, don't get me wrong, I wasn't doing this lesson because of you. I think a lot of us have an anger issue. So that's why I'm doing this, because I'm trying to keep Elizabeth from going to jail. Brother Lee, take the mic to Tangela. She had her hand up at me. I'm trying to make sure that Sister Marshall just don't run over nobody over there in Decatur. And, you know, sometimes it's, oops, that was an accident. Yes, ma'am.
I was going to add on to like what Donna said about being in the military. I know for me, coming from, being in a Christian background, when you join the military, you're around a lot of people that curse every day. They're cussing at you, cussing just up and down, and it's you're around it all the time. So for me, that was a different atmosphere for me, and that caused me a lot of different emotions. And then sometimes if you're the nice person in the room, people won't listen to you. So then you have to have that hard exterior on. That's some of my experiences, with being a Christian in the military, being in different environments and stuff, depending on who you're around.
How long you do in the military?
21 years.
21 years. I was arguing with my wife. She told me it was 20. I was trying to.
I did that last year for my grandmother, and me and her in brotherhood.
Okay. All right. Brother, how long you do? 13. I would imagine, and I see a lot of military people, and dealt with a lot of military people, because all of my family has been in the military. My two youngest brothers, they seem angry all the time. And I be asking, what y'all angry about? I mean, you ought to be happy because life is full. No? Help me to understand it and tell me what
you're dealing with different maturity levels. You're dealing with individuals that have no structure, or they have structure and just acting out. So when you're dealing with those type people every day, I mean, it gets to the point you just automatically know the next door is steel, and you got to go through the door. So that's what you bring to the table. Iron sharpens iron. That's what it is.
All right. I don't need me arguing with it. I got you. You think it's difficult to be a Christian in the military?
Some of the things I've heard them say, I've heard that from a lot of Christians. is the military just tears you down as a Christian almost.
What you think, sweetheart? Like I said, now she grew up in the church. And her dad was a preacher. Was it hard?
I mean, I'm gonna be honest. We all have a choice in what we do. So, life is hard itself. Being in the military or not being in the military is hard. So I can't blame the military for everything that has gone on in my life because I have a choice. So it's my choice, what I made in life that's made it hard for Tangela. If I followed the Bible or followed my own, crooked path, so in the end, at the end of the day, is did I follow what the word said?
Man.
Or did I follow? Yeah. I mean, for a long time, like Donna would tell you, going to Hawaii, it took me, I don't even know if we found a Church of Christ. It depends on where you go, especially when you're going overseas. Like, there's sometimes I used to tell my dad all the time, I'm in this area, I'm going to this area, where's a church for me to go? I mean, that was a lot of, and with me being in the Navy, Donna didn't go to ships. I was on 2 ships. I was on an aircraft carrier. Most of the time, you won't find Church of Christ on the ships. The chaplains are Baptists, Protestants, or, something else, So sometimes I would be in a position where I'm somewhere where there are no members, and I'm by myself, So those are some of the issues.
We just had this conversation not even an hour ago. Yes.
Well, I was in a field. Yeah, I was in a field. I was in cryptology. So when I joined in 1992, it was just me. I was the only one of my color. So, did I get treated differently? Yes. And because I was darker skinned, that made me more withdrawn. So then that was initially when I first came in. And then I noticed that after I'd been in 10, 11 years, that's when my mother started telling my father, Donna's changed. And I had to become something in order, really, you're trying to get people from different walks of life to come together and do something. So you can't be meek and timid.
You got to be strong. I
You
understand
got to be
that.
strong. And so then I had to go from that meek and timid person to that strong person. And so then my parents noticed it first.
Okay.
And so
But you wasn't angry.
no, I wasn't. No,
Okay.
I wasn't angry, but I guess I grew up and matured. And so my parents, I was always the little girl. I was always the well-behaved one.
That made Sister Williams laugh. The greedy stir up conflict, but those who trust in the Lord will prosper. Now, I want us to hold on to these scriptures, okay? Because they mean something. I'm about to take you into a different area of study. We're talking about anger. Now, I have 2 sections here. We're going to talk about 4 different types of anger. Then I'm going to come out of this group and I'm going to take you to 4 different groups of anger. Now, different schools teach different things, all right? And I'm sharing both perspectives with you, okay? All right. I believe all individuals battle somewhat with anger. We may not want to admit it. We may not even see it ourselves. But I do believe that somewhere within us, we are battling with anger. All right? And I'll even show you some areas where we don't even want to admit that anger is there. All right? In 4 types of anger, where are you? Let's see. We have what we call the aggressive anger. We have what we call the defensive anger. We have this outraged anger. And then we have this frustrated anger. Do you even see yourself there? This defensive anger. Yes. Yes. Now, if you see yourself, and if you don't, that's good. Because I'm going to find you here somewhere. Because I'm going to go into this next group. Because what ends up happening, we tell ourselves, I'm not there. But how many of us can actually listen to someone without becoming defensive? How well are you when someone criticizes you? I've been in where people are not very good when they are criticized. I mean, look, I've got to defend myself, and I'm going to defend it to the hilt. No matter how you do it.
Oh, I'm sorry.
No matter how you do it.
But listen, if somebody is accusing you of something or saying something that you think is wrong, and you don't lift your voice, you just say, but that wasn't like that, I did that. And they say, well, you're being defensive, you're defending yourself. To me, that don't seem like anger.
Well, now, you can be defensive without being angry.
Oh.
Don't think just because you defend yourself that you become angry. It may become frustrated anger. Yes, ma'am. I'm just trying to show you the different angers. Okay? Now watch this, because what happens, anger, aggressive anger. Anger is this emotion that's fighting. When a person is angered, they will naturally seek to attack others. I tell people sometimes, not necessarily attack physically. You can back a person up against the wall. What are you going to do? They got to come out and defend themselves. They've got to become aggressive. They're even going to lift up their voice to a point, because, look, you trying to pinpoint them on something, and you don't put them in their spot. They feel like, now, I've got to be aggressive. This is what Donna was talking about. She's a female. She's a black female. She's got to be aggressive enough to make people notice her. Now, it may not be anger, but some point or another, it became angry, because I get tired of having to defend myself just because I'm a woman. Yeah. I'm doing the right thing, but even though I'm doing the right thing, I'm still being criticized. So now I've got to become aggressive. Sometimes it may not be seen or heard in your voice. It's just seen in your actions. And I tell my wife a lot, girl, when you get that little tired look and you roll that whole body, Brother Redmond picked up on it. She rolled her whole body. When she ain't rolling just the neck, she rolled her whole body. Baby, is that necessary? You're going to hurt yourself. That's that aggressive anger. All right, what about this defensive anger? When a person is suddenly attacked, then the primitive fight or flight reaction is triggered. For what is this boost of adrenaline gives power to the muscles. I can just about see this one. Ooh, women got this one bad. I'd hate to see Gail get started. Gail come across like she's so meek. I had to ask Larry. Larry, tell me, what happens really? When one person uses the aggressive anger as a passive tool and the other turns the defensive anger to a loud argument, that's what proceeds. Loud argument. I can see Joyce getting loud. I can see Joyce putting her hands on her hip. Joyce, you need to stop. Yes, ma'am.
In defense of black women, we have had to break through so many barriers.
Yes.
That our struggle was assertive.
Yes.
And confident, but it was interpreted as anger because they didn't want us there.
Yeah. Yeah. And then you had to make sure you got that point across and you raised your voice. It wasn't anger, but you just raised your voice. Yes, sir.
I think what happens a lot of times in a confrontation, when you attack somebody personally instead of like what they did, they will get defensive automatically.
Yes, very true. Do we have to learn how to be calm, though? Yes, we do. You get more flies with honey. That's why I use, it takes skill to build. Some people just want to push you to get you out of your zone because they want to make you angry. Now, they understand. Now, Hebrews 10, verse number 24, said that we ought to provoke one another to love and good works. We take that verse and use it wrong. We want to provoke you to anger. I'm going to make you cuss because you say you don't cuss. Brother Ross, you say you don't cuss. I don't cuss. I'm going to provoke you. You may provoke me, but I'm still not going to cuss. I can look at you and start laughing. All right. What about this outraged anger? The anger and the resentment aroused by injury or insult. Explode. Explosive. I did this one and I thought about Elizabeth. I could just about see her exploding. She's laughing. I'm wondering, am I knocking on her door? That's that outraged. Somewhere or another, we may not want to be honest, but we've been to that point. All right? Frustrated anger. I got this barely can't see it because, see, this is what happens. Nobody knows what frustrates another person. But yet we get frustrated sort of easily. All right? When things do not go as planned, then we quickly become frustrated and angry. I tell people things rarely work out according to plan. I'm telling you now, things rarely work out according to plan. I remember the day my wife and I got married. One of the groomsmen didn't go get his tux. She sent word to me, your friend didn't go get his tux. I say, let's move on. I don't have time to be worried about stuff. She's frustrated. Her special day, and she's going to be one of the groomsmen short. No, you're not. You got a guy that's singing, and he's got the same colors on that's using him. And I sent the word to her, why you get all frustrated? I mean, it don't make sense to get frustrated. Things just rarely work out according to plan, y'all. Here we go. When things happen over which we have no control, which stop us achieving or attending, that we tend to vent our anger verbally and on those around us. For example, in a bad driving, we call it road rage. We get frustrated. People don't respect you. They will pull out in front of you. Do you know what really gets me? They could be going to the next street. They pull out to turn. And you be like, wow, did you really do that? Yes, they did. And you be like, really? I feel like just jumping out of here and jumping over there on you. So he done went from frustrated anger to outrage. You cannot allow people to control you. Because if you let them take you out of your comfort zone, that's what they wanted to begin with. So you've got to decide who are you? Who do you represent? All right? I thought about throw this in here because we forget. that when grief comes along, there's anger there, and we forget. We don't even know what we're angry about. So let's see here. If there's grief and there's loss, we become in denial and we isolate ourselves. We don't want to talk to anyone, and we don't want nobody to talk to us. All right? We become angry, and we really don't know why we're angry, but we mad. And I know we ain't mad at God because, as I keep telling you, your arm's too short to be trying to box with God. He wins every time. All right? You can't do like Moses, and you can't do like Abram. You can't bargain your way out of this. All right? And this is where we get to. We get in depression. And then about 3 or 4 years down the road, we learn to accept it. All right? But what is it that we get angry about? Who want to tell me?
Well, for me, with my mom, I just felt it wasn't fair.
Okay.
That's what I went through.
All right.
Why, it just wasn't fair.
Let's talk there here, because I want to know what you mean it's not fair. I mean, she lived, how old was she when she passed?
89.
She was 89,
Yeah.
and she was just as spunk as she probably could be.
Yeah.
She was a joy. She was a mess.
Yeah.
And she'd always give me that wink.
Yeah.
So what do you mean it's not fair?
Well, that was my rock.
Okay. Okay. So you had to come to the point of just realizing, saying, well, I know this world really is not mine. It's not where we're going to dwell, but I just don't want to lose it.
Exactly, and I'm still dealing with that now.
Okay.
After 4 years, yeah.
All right. And that's what I said. Somewhere down the road
Yeah.
between 3 and 4, maybe 5, we learned to accept the fact that they had to leave this world. But we somewhere between the anger and the depression. Now, where was your sister? Because this is what happens in families. When someone significant like your mother passed, that was your rock. So siblings, what do we do? Siblings, what do we do? Siblings, where are we? Do we try to have conversation with one another? Do we pray with one another? Do we try to get one another out of this state? Because really and truly, only one that really understands is family. I can tell you I've been there, but I still can't tell you exactly how you feel it.
Exactly.
So I tell people, stop trying to tell folks I know how you feel.
Yeah, because
I know how you feel. No, you don't. We all feel differently.
right.
Yes, ma'am.
Well, when my mom died,
That a mic, baby.
it,
Hold it up,
and
sweetheart.
because I was the oldest
Okay.
in the family, I always already had that status, like being next to mom.
Mm-hmm.
So when mom died, everybody kind of just gravitated into me.
Okay.
Like they kind of looked for me to replace that part of mom that was missing then.
Okay.
But the strange thing about it, that's when I felt more relaxed. It's
Okay.
when, because they didn't want me staying in the house by myself after mom died. I just, why don't you go stay with her? But I felt more comfortable being in the house where mom died and with nobody else there.
Why?
And I think it was my way of reflecting and thinking about what she had told me, she wanted done, and just going over everything like what I thought she would want
Okay.
me to do.
Okay. 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 Let me ask a question, y'all. Because many go through the life of losing mom or dad, How come we don't talk and help others to prepare themselves for that event? Because, that's something, you can't tell a person how they're going to feel. But at the same time, why don't we tell them where we are, where we were, what we went through, all right? So to get them to see this could be you. And you're going to go through this point. At some point or another, you're going to come to a point where you're going to be in denial, you're going to be isolated. You don't want nobody to bother you. You're not going to want anybody, you don't want anybody really to say anything to you. You're going to come to church, you're going to sit back there, and somebody say something to you, you're going to look at them like, why are you talking to me? You didn't talk to me the whole time, and now you're talking. Please, be quiet. They think they're doing the right thing because they're talking to you. They don't know that you at this point right now, I just don't want to hear what you got to say. They don't know that you in this denial. They don't know that you really on the border of being angry, and they don't understand where you are because they ain't experienced it. Why is it that we don't talk about that?
A lot of people don't feel comfortable with talking about death.
Why? That's a Bible subject.
Yeah, I mean, it's just something that a lot of people just don't feel comfortable with. But it just depends on the comfort zone, I think, of the individual. Like when my father passed, I was at 5. And I guess because I was prepared, I knew he had been sick for some time. And my mom kept talking to me and telling me, prepare yourself. This is going to happen. This is how you're going to feel. But Dad has been suffering for some time. So granted, I was very sad, miss him to this day, but I'm just glad he's not suffering.
Okay. That's very good. Come to Sister Joyce here.
Oh, I forgot. She almost said what I was going to say. You don't expect it to happen. And therefore, like she was saying, talking about being prepared, that will help you some. So like you said, if we hear or if we share, then we can see how other people get through it. Then that will help you some to be a little more, little more acceptance. Like I say, you don't know what each person go through, but it will help you.
What you mean we don't expect it, though?
We don't. We think everybody's going to be here forever, and we're going to be here forever.
Really?
Yes. Thinking about dying, even though the Bible said we would die, but and you go, oh, I'm so shocked,
Really?
I didn't expect that, or, no.
I'm having a difficult time with that one. Tragedy, okay. Yes, ma'am.
I think especially with your parents, you don't expect your parent to die. Like when I lost my mom, we thought she was getting better, but then she passed. But I think I never expected her to pass. I thought she'd be around to see me get married, have kids, graduate, all that stuff. But she didn't make it. So it's like you expect your parent to be there through all your, milestones, and you never expect to lose them until you're ready. But you're never ready, so you expect them to go forever with you,
Okay. Come on. Come to Tangela. Well, I got you, brother. Go ahead. I was stretching. She was stretching.
I just had a personal example. So like 2012, I came back from Afghanistan, and where I was at, I lost a couple battle buddies over there. So I would say 2013, 2014, I probably was still in between 1 and 2 because I was really angry. And then my grandmother passed away. So I think I slipped into depression during that time. And then a year later, that's when my dad died. So I went back to denial. I was probably a little angry for a while. That's when I stopped going to church. And I think now I'm finally at number 5, with everything, So, I mean, I think that we kind of bounce back depending on what goes on, because definitely doing anniversaries and birthdays, those are when I kind of find myself slipping into those areas and stuff. Like, I got my grandmother's Bible, things like that I do to help pull myself out of those cycles when I see myself going into those cycles, or either I'll call somebody and say, hey, this is such and such anniversary, to kind of help me get out of those little slumps. So that's what I just wanted to share that with anybody that is going through the cycle of grief.
My brother asked me something, the baby boy, when my mother was passing away. Both of the boys were in denial. Billy was like, Mom's going to be all right. She always bounces back. She might be sick for a minute, and she was one of those type of people that she was tough. Now, Mark asked me, he said, Donna, he said, God ain't going to let her die. He said, because there's too many people that done kill people, that they did so many wrong things. Why would they take our mother? And I couldn't answer that. And I had to step into that role where I was marked. He said, when Mama was passing away, he said, I walked in and he said, Donna, he said, I just talked to Mama, and I told her you had a new name. And I looked at him and I said, what? He said, yeah, Donna. He leaned over and he said, yeah, Donna, new name is Mama. I said, no, it's not. I said, I'm not your mother. I'm your sister. But they expected me to step into that role.
And what's wrong with you stepping into that role?
I'm not their mother.
No, but they need a
I
mother.
don't have no kids.
They need a mother figure.
No, they need to be hit in the throat.
See, you want to hit them in the throat because you know that they expect too much out of you.
Right.
But God is using you. He's trying to use you for the balance in your family. The conversation you and I had that day at Walmart, how you were telling me this and how you were telling me that. A lot of that, was not my responsibility, but your responsibility. Because you there. I can't be everywhere. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
So, you have to be, you've got to make sure that you that one that is acceptable to them, and they can reach out and call. Everybody needs somebody strong in the family. And a lot of times we don't want to be that strong one, but you got to be.
Right. They must think I'm a Mack truck.
They do. They expect you to be one to get hit and bounce back.
Right. And that's basically what I've been doing. And but after a while, you can only take so much of that.
Very true. But watch this, though. You don't know it, but you are becoming stronger. And every time you talk about it, you become stronger. And that's what happens to us. We won't talk about these things. We try to hold it in. And when we try to hold it in, it's really not helping us. If we could ever start to talk about things, we'll start to heal.
Okay.
That's why I went there. Because I can't figure out why we become angry at death. That's an appointment that God gave us. And we got it the day we were born. And since we got it the day we were born, what we have to do every day is we prepare for that. Now, not just prepare for mine, but we prepare for everybody else's around us. Because, the only thing we know is the life here. But if we spend more time in God's word, we prepare ourselves for that better place. Yeah, you're going to hurt. That's part of it. You cannot tell me the Father was not hurt seeing his son die on that cross. Yeah, but just think. He knew he was going to get him up, though. So, and the reason I went there is because anger is there. We don't understand why we become angry. So we have to talk about it while we have the opportunity. Yes, ma'am. Mm-hmm.
And he would tell me every time I tell him, I'm going to go, Mom, I'm going to go. But he never went. And I get angry over that.
Yes, ma'am. Now, this is the issue. African American men have a problem going to the doctor. So what you have to do, what we have to do, we have to encourage one another. Go to the physician. Go to the physician. And if you don't want to go by yourself, we'll go with you. Somebody go with you. And that's probably how you got him there. Yes, ma'am.
So they sent him back home.
And he didn't go back.
And he wouldn't go back. And I would call him every day. When you going to the doctor, D-Whit? When? Oh, I'm going, Mom, I'm going. But never told me when. He never did go. So that's why I get angry.
See, I wish y'all had told me. Because one of the things they tell you is not to drink coffee. They make an emphasis on that. And see, he probably needs to stay at your house that morning, that night, so you get him up the next morning that you can control that. Yeah, we something serious. Yeah, we something serious. Men don't want to go to the doctor. So you have to be on us. You want to say something like that? No, I got a question. Okay.
Okay. The question I got, I'm the oldest child. And my mama almost had to bury me. See? So now that she is where she's at and the way it's going with her, I mean, I got a good acceptance because, I mean, she got dementia now. I mean, I talk to her on the phone. She don't know me. So in my heart, I've already accepted, okay, mama gone. But what I got to learn how to deal with is I almost sent everybody back when I died. So, I mean, yeah. I mean, mama, I think that's what pushed mama over. Because the first thing she said is, no parent should have to bury their son. And it was just bad all the way around. So now I'm trying to get, how do I prepare my family for when mama go? And though I'm the oldest, I'm right there too. You know?
We have to get to the point where we're comfortable. We have to get to the point where we're comfortable with talking about death. And nobody want to talk about it, but death is a part of life. So we have to start really talking about death. Church members do not, you know, when I was telling y'all I was bringing in Royal Funeral Home and a couple of others, people just didn't want to come out. They didn't want to hear this. And I knew, Carolyn kept telling me, Floyd, they don't want to hear what a funeral home has to say. They don't want to deal with death. But that's part of life. You got to talk about this kind of stuff. I got things wrote out because I know how my wife is. When I die, take me home. She may try to bury me up here somewhere. I want to go home. I got the spot already picked out. Just take me home. Now, I make her mad because I tell her, y'all do realize they taking me to Tuskegee, taking me to Starville, and then bringing me back to Piney Grove. That's just a joke. Brother Lee.
There was a prophet that went to King Hezekiah and told him to get his house in order.
Yes.
What do they mean by that?
Wanted him to set his business in place. He did one thing that he needed, and that was he's communicated with God. He went to God in prayer. That's where we need to start. But, you know, at the same time, we need to have things already arranged. I don't think it's right for a family to have to go through all of these different steps and stages when we know that we're going to leave this world. Go ahead and have things taken care of. We'll pick up with this next week. Doc, are you doing the invitation? I know you got some questions on this, so I don't mind you emailing and hitting me up because this is something we're going to have to really deal with. All right?
Good evening. This part of the service is set aside for those who desire to become a Christian and for those who desire prayer. You become a Christian by hearing God's word, Romans 10:17, believing God in his word, Hebrews 11:6, repent of your sins, Acts 17:30, confess that you believe in Christ, Matthew 10:32, be baptized for remission of sins, Acts 2:38, and live faithfully until death, Revelation 2. If anyone desires baptism or prayer, please come up front and fill out a card while we sing a stanza of a song. There's a happy land of promise over in the great beyond, where the Savior shall soon the glory share, where the souls of men shall enter and live on forevermore, and everybody will be happy over there. Everybody sing, we'll be happy, we'll be happy over there. Sing, we will shout and sing God's praises, and everybody will be happy over there. There the ransom of all ages will be singing around the throne, in that land where no one ever knows a care, where the Christians of all nations will join in the triumph song. Everybody will be happy over there. Everybody sing, we'll be happy, we'll be happy over there. Sing, we will shout and sing God's praise, and everybody will be happy over there.
Amen. One of our loved ones come forward requesting prayer. Our sister Michelle Montgomery is asking the church to go to the Lord in prayer for herself and for her family. She's asking that the church would pray for health for her and her family, for guidance for her and her family, and for spiritual strength for her and her family. Amen. Amen. Let us all go to the Lord in prayer. Heavenly Father, we come before